I'm so ashamed that our kids have to be raised in an era where the president is so ugly. What's uglier than swaddling a newborn baby, placing it into a crib in the next room, and then discussing whether you kill it or not? Name me one thing that Donald Trump has ever done, including grabbing all of the that would be as ugly as that. All right, here we go.
Thanks, bro, for being a voice in our crazy times. Anytime. It's an exciting time. We're going to win. Big Bear, can I make some highlight videos of your stuff and upload them and spread the word? The same way they do for Joe Rogan videos. Huge fan, love your vids, keep on fighting the good fight. Please do that. Do you know how many people we're not reaching because I go so long? Tons of people are like, Big Bear, I love your videos. Make them 15 minutes, not 3 hours. And I'm like, well, I try to. And then I start talking about, mind control. And then I start playing Pink Floyd. And then I start trying to make the fire brighter. And then before you know it, I'm 3 hours deep. And everyone's went to bed.
You may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Modern world. Europeans. Built the modern world. We invented science and industry. We invented science and industry, and you want to tell us to stop because, oh my God, we're so bad. We built the modern world. We built the modern world. Europeans. Built the modern world. We invented science and industry. We invented science and industry, and you want to tell us to stop because, oh my God, we're so bad. We invented the modern world.
I feel you. You're so dumb.
We invented the modern world.
You fucking degenerate.
We saved billions of people from starvation. We built modern civilization. White people are the best thing that ever happened to the world. We are so amazing. I love myself, and I love white people.
Say that one more time.
Fuck yeah, white people.
Say it right here.
Fuck yeah, white men. We're white men. We did everything. Look, I don't hate other people. I just love my white men. God. I just love white men. Oh, God.
So I think this goes back to the question of the day. I want to move into, I think the left's, really it's just infanticide, their agenda. I think the abortion mask right now is slipping.
Completely
and I think that's what's
not
most...
slipping, it's done.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
It pretty much is gone. So I think what's important to note, too, in the past, and we've talked about this, we did that video with Abby Johnson, former director of Planned Parenthood, which was immediately demonetized, surprise. Civil, long-form discussion, gone. No money at all. No profanity, just, we don't like your opinion. In the past, the Planned Parenthood message was that the abortion, it only made up about 3% of their services. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Recent BuzzFeed Puff piece, though, on the new CEO, I think, what's her name, Leanna Wen? Is that it? They had a headline about Planned Parenthood focusing on non-abortion services, and Leanna Wen then contradicted it, corrected them with a tweet claiming that abortion was, quote, their core mission.
Yeah, basically just confirming what we already knew, right? Surprise, this guy is blue.
This is really important for people to note. The safe, legal, and rare has gone out the window, and if you look at the bills from, we'll get into them in a second, the bills from New York, now there's the bill in Virginia, and there's, I think, is there 6 or 7 proposed bills in Rhode Island, Brodigan?
I think it's up to 7.
Okay, there are quite a few, and they're just as bad. So I think a few points to keep in context here. Democrats, and I mean the DNC platform, let's not talk about, well, you don't want to generalize, man, and the extreme right. No, the DNC, the Democratic platform, they are pushing abortion up until birth. Wow. Don't believe me, here's Delegate Kathy, is it Tran? Kathy Tran, talking specifically about the abortion bill in her state.
So the suggestion that we've made in the bill is to say it's in the 3rd trimester and at the, with the certification of the physician.
She just says that.
How late in the 3rd trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
Good question.
Or physical health.
Okay. I'm talking about the mental health.
She's trying really hard.
So, I mean, through the 3rd trimester. The 3rd trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Okay, but to the end of the 3rd trimester.
Yep, I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
That means a baby, by the way. Yeah. We're not talking about a clump of cells. We're not talking about a zygote. She's saying mental. She tries to, this is what happens, right? She tries to redirect it, or physical health. He goes, okay, but there's also mental health. We agree on physical health. If a mom is going to die at that point, if both beings are going to die, obviously you take the lesser of two evils in that scenario. I understand it as a reasonable argument. I don't want to get into that right now. Yeah. But the broader exception is mental health. Yeah. So she goes, physical health. What about mental health? Physical health. What about mental health? So it'd be like going in for a mortgage. All right, it's going to be a 3% rate. 2%. No, hold on a second. That's not how this works. You don't just get to say a word. And she refuses to say a baby. It's up until it comes out of the birth canal. Yeah. It's like any reason, by the way. It can mean anything, mental health. It's like a medical marijuana card, only with killing a baby. Yeah. Like, I have back pain. I don't like the baby. I think he's going to be a
yeah.
Approved.
Yeah, and that's what people think, like, oh my gosh, it's going to be this refined process. No, there are doctors out there that want to be advocates for this and activists, essentially, and they're going to do it for whatever reason, right? We're going to see economic health pretty soon here, right? That's the third thing that we're going to see. I can't afford this. It's about 2 weeks until the baby's due. Can you please help me?
Right. Really? People say, do you really think it's going to get that extreme? Well, okay, we'll move on to the next point, but considering that smiling is now seen as the sign of white supremacy, yes. I was like, well, hold on a second, not supporting the welfare state, that's white supremacy. People go, I don't really think so, but okay, you want to use some demographics and say that it's discriminatory toward minorities? All right, voting for Donald Trump is racist. I don't really think that's the case. Yeah. Smiling is like the KKK.
Yeah.
How quickly do you think it will devolve here on the left when it comes to abortion? And by the way, I don't know how much further they can devolve. Here, this brings us to our next point. Democrats, by the way, are pushing for abortion even after birth.
Ugh. That's murder.
You're just after birth, Kamala Harris that slithered out. You didn't watch There Will Be Blood. Is no one here awake?
I did watch that.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Here's Virginia Governor Ralph. Is it pronounced Northam?
Northam?
No, it's not still not Northam. Anyways, basically endorsing infanticide. Thank God we videotape radio interviews now. Let's play this.
When we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable.
I've never wanted to throw a shoe at a telephone.
He contradicts himself right here.
Labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion.
It was. Hold on a second.
Wow.
What happened to non-viable?
Yeah.
He literally says non-viable in the first half and says, by the way, then we might resuscitate the baby, feed it, give it a feeding, make sure that it's alive, and then leave it to die as we have a discussion. What kind of a discussion? It's like, okay, listen, you have a baby right now who's been swaddled in blankets. It's in the next room. We'd like to see what kind of options you'd like to discuss, including our tiny casket special for only $5.99. Is that on the table?
Jeez. You only have half an hour to act, though.
It really is remarkable. Road trips to the Northern Family must have been really interesting. Kids, if you don't shut up, a discussion will ensue. Yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to turn this car around and have a discussion with you. Even the Addams family would look at this and say, "Cara mia, that's f***ed up. That's how bad this is."
I mean, if there's the slightest silver lining in people saying that we should literally kill people, if this wakes people up, will they pay more attention to issues? Because I've noticed a lot of apolitical friends in New York are expressing their disgust of the New York bill. Yeah. I'm going to go on a limb that there are voters in Virginia who consider themselves to be pro-life but voted for the governor just because Orange Man bad.
Sure.
Hopefully now people are waking up and, there are worse things than Donald Trump being a on Twitter, and it's killing babies.
Well, that's why I hate the whole discussion of let's find common ground, let's meet in the middle. No, hold on a second. This is the national Democratic platform, guys. Right. This isn't some extremists. This isn't the Young Turks. This isn't Samantha Bee. This is what all of the Democrats who, when they form state legislature, this is what they want. This is what they have. And by the way, is this a shock? It shouldn't be, considering that Democrats have repeatedly voted against measures like the Born Alive Infant Protection Act, which protected babies after they were born alive. It's in the name. Barack Obama didn't vote president. He voted no. This has been the MO of those in power for a long time, by the way. It's just they haven't had it completely unfettered. And if you want to know what it looks like, just look at New York.
Yeah, and this could basically single-handedly give the election over to Donald Trump. I really don't know why this issue is coming out in force like it is right now, because we're about 2 years before the presidential cycle, about 2 years before the election. So the cycle's starting.
Yeah.
People are going to start going out. You're seeing it with Democrats saying they're going to throw their hats in the ring. If this issue is on the table and that bill
they don't get
is
it.
what they
They're
get the
so
point
tone
at.
deaf. We pulled this story from Huffington Post, okay? And a headline, it was something like, Tucker Carlson gets burned in his own show. And he asked this liberal guest, he says, okay, you saw this from Northam right here.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? I think you want to take us back to overturning Roe v. Wade. He goes, no, I don't want to do that. But can we not throw out talking points? Can you please talk about this, which was on tape today? I want to talk about how you have no say what women do with their bodies. Huffington Post watched this exact same video, and they see it as a win.
Yeah.
They put that one up on the scoreboard for themselves. Speaking of wins, by the way, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed, because apparently it doesn't mean a whole lot on YouTube, and it might get lost in the subscription box. Join Mug Club, $99 annually, $69 for students, veterans, active military, ladderoskyder.com/Mug Club. You get the full daily show, and it's what supports the content. Also, iTunes, if you're listening to the audio version. Here's what's also really important to note, that abortion up until birth, it's not a far-left position. I cannot reiterate that enough. This guy, he's not Cortez. Right. He's seen as a centrist. Okay, the Virginia bill was defeated, but New York just passed. The bill was passed.
Yeah.
And now, I think Rhode Island, someone can correct me here, it's either 7 or 6 bills proposed in Rhode Island. This is important to note. This is mainstream leftism. So when people say, there's such a stark contrast between all of these Democratic candidates and Donald Trump, sure, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Right.
You all want to kill babies up to 40 weeks and after 40 weeks. Good, there's enough of a contrast for me.
And this is the thing for me right now. This is where you draw the line. I know yesterday we were talking a little bit about finding some common ground, educating people. This is not that issue necessarily.
No,
when you start to say that you're okay with third trimester, you go out of your way to make it physical health instead of mental health, this gigantic loophole that people are going to run through. You have absolutely revealed what your strategy is. And one thing that you don't want to do, people dislike Donald Trump, but they are so pro-life that they will get out and vote for him even if they weren't.
Here's what's really important. The left is lying in order to try and get this legislation passed. They say, well, most Americans are pro-choice. Okay, we're using the term pro-choice. But the American public are overwhelmingly against abortion up until birth. It's opposed by 80% or so. Most Americans don't support third trimester abortions. The Democratic platform does.
Yeah.
This is something that's crazy to me. The press makes such a big deal out of Trump insulting people about being rude or ugly. Donald Trump, it's just our president. I'm so ashamed that our kids have to be raised in an era where the president is so ugly. What's uglier than swaddling a newborn baby, placing it into a crib in the next room, and then discussing whether you kill it or not? Name me one thing that Donald Trump has ever done, including grabbing all of the that would be as ugly as that.
Stormy Daniels.
That's fair.
Okay,
That's fair. I stand corrected. And here, they claim, too, the advocates, this is something that's really important. It's just inaccurate. This is one of those issues where the further we advance scientifically, the less ground they have to stand on. They make this claim that third trimester abortion is only necessary in some rare circumstances when the baby's going to die anyway. No, that's not what's actually happening. The Guttmacher Institute, which, by the way, pro-choice, pro-abortion organization, says that the data shows, quote, most women seeking later-term abortions are not doing so for reasons of fetal anomaly or life endangerment.
Wow. That's right there. And then I thought we had medical procedures for this if the baby's life was in danger, if mom's life was in danger and going to term with this. Right. I thought we had C-sections. Yeah. I thought that was part of the issue, saying, hey, this is dangerous, let's do this. By the way, do you know there's story after story after story right now in the media that people who are alive 20 years later are saying, the doctor told my mom I was not viable. Right. And I made it out fine. She's fine. This isn't an exact science for these guys. There's a huge lane to drive. I just want an abortion.
It's also geographically dependent. Oh, wait, hold on a second. A baby in the hills of Virginia, not Virginia, but West Virginia. Let's go with West Virginia. A baby in the hills of Kentucky. Yeah. Right? Baby, is that life worth less than the baby in a hospital in Lenox Hill? In the Upper East Side, simply because they have access to better medical equipment? Viability is not a consistent argument. And this is what's crazy. Where are we supposed to find common ground here? This is what's crazy. There's no common ground left. Well, let's find common ground on Plan B. Okay, let's do it. Now, how about second trimester? What we're supposed to find now up until birth. If it's born, can we kill it? Remember, common ground, and they want to call you an extremist prick. Safe, legal, and rare was supposed to be the common ground for a long time. Rape, incest, health of the mother. That was supposed to be common ground. I just said health. Like Trigger Mike. The health, bro. The health of the mother.
Not mental health.
And this is what's so funny to me, they said this of Christians for a long time, right? They used to say, they're single-issue voters. They're morons. They're single-issue voters. Yeah! If you're going to be a single-issue voter, what's more important? Hating Donald Trump because you think he's a dick, or not killing live babies? Imagine looking back through history and saying, man, the Allies in World War II were really single-issue guys. Yeah. Abraham Lincoln was a single-issue dick. Here's the thing. Yes, I understand, obviously, the economy matters. If you're looking at an election, trade, whatever. But if there are still people who are being enslaved against their will, then that is the only issue. It's just like if you cover somebody's mouth and pinch their nose, then all of a sudden you call them an oxygen extremist. Well, it's because it's the most pressing issue. Their only issue that matters at that point is oxygen. Yeah. Right? And all the single issue voting was justified. We knew it. It was never going to stop at Hobby Lobby providing, what was it? They provided 16 out of the 20 or 21 forms of birth control. And they were saying, no, hold on a second, they have to be mandated to provide all 21 forms of birth control. That was never going to be the end point. The end point was never going to be the Plan B pill. Their plan was always to push it this far. And by the way, how is this not straight up evil, purposefully evil? I think that people can be used as tools of evil. I've talked about Barack Obama with this. I don't think Barack Obama proactively went out and said, I'm going to subvert the cause of good, that I'm an evil person, but I think he was used as a tool for evil, certainly if you look at his voting record specifically on this issue. But with this, it's not someone who's being used as a tool without knowing it. They are proactively killing babies. They are walking into the room knowing fully well, their mission is to kill a baby. That's it. They don't care. And this is what's so funny to me. We could say, like, oh, this is, at one point we said this is the path to euthanasia, right, of children. This slippery slope is an argument. There is no more slope. Yeah. There is no more path.
We're done.
We're at the end of the path. That's it. Here, I'm going to make a bold statement here. What Hitler did is no more evil than this. He just did it more times. Or are you saying that, yes, I believe that aborting a baby at 40 weeks, at 25, at 30, at 35 weeks, certainly after it's born, I believe that is every bit as evil as what Hitler did.
Yeah.
You think that's an extreme example to make a point? It's two of the biggest states in the Union. Are you okay with this? You're okay with babies being born alive dying? Because that's where we are now. It's not, well, I'm okay with this, but no, hold on a second. We're past all other considerations. There is no more slope. There is no more slide. There is no more path. We're here. That's the final question. Are you pro-life, okay? Or are you pro-this? What's this? Delivering a newborn, wrapping it in a blankie, and then leaving it to die. That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. Legally, that's what the legislation is pushing for, period. There's no more path. There's no more slope to slip. This is where we are. Are you pro-life or are you pro-this? That's it. Find common ground on that. Hey there, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel or hit the notification bell. Do it. Oh, wait a second. Do you hear that little ding? It actually didn't make a ding sound. I just did it. It happened while my mouth was doing it, and you thought it was coming from your computer. So that's fun. Also, there's some videos playing in these boxes next to me. Go watch. The truth is that it's hard to bring that baby to term, to deliver it, to take care of it, to figure out what mommy and daddy need to do, how to make a living, how to take care of this life, or it's hard, even finding the right adoption program, bringing that baby to term, and then watching them carry it away to another family who will love and care for it because you couldn't. I get it. That's really hard. The truth is hard sometimes.
My club's for closers.
And I wanted to go back to something where we're talking about abortion laws in the country, and I know that there's some tweets out there, and a lot of people, I guess, are more easily shocked than myself responding to these stories. You know, oh my God, how could you do that to a baby? How can someone go so far? I hear that a lot. For many, it boggles the mind. It doesn't boggle mine. And as much as it pains me to say it, I would say it's actually entirely expected for two reasons. One, the same reason, I talk about this a lot in the show, the truth, and most people's aversion to it. And two, the easy way out. And the two, by the way, in most cases are one and the same. I often talk about the truth in the show and how simple in theory life would be if you're seeking it. And I know that I'm going to get some edgy, smart-ass atheist commenting here saying, well, how can you say you seek the truth and you believe in the flying spaghetti monster, huh? Okay, well, here's a brain twister. Not all societies have considered truth a virtue, and certainly not more valuable than successful outcomes. So where does the morality of truth-seeking come from? There's a brain twister. Same thing with mercy and compassion. Those are almost exclusively found with modern Christendom. They were seen as weaknesses. So truth-seeking is not innate. As a matter of fact, often, and I would say more often than not, it's the polar opposite of human nature. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about a truth or your truth here. I'm talking about the truth. People will often do whatever they can to avoid it at all costs, like an ant with a magnifying glass, effectively for the same reason. Because here's an irony. This is something a lot of people aren't going to like to hear, but I'm going to tie this back to the abortion thing in a little bit. An irony is that when it comes to the truth, we've been lied to. We've been told that the truth will set you free. Guess what? Nope. Sometimes the truth comes with shackles. Sometimes the truth comes with punishment. Sometimes the truth sucks. The truth will set you free. Okay, Your Honor, I confess. Guilty. Life without parole. What happened? Sometimes the truth is hard, but that doesn't change the fact that it's the right thing to do. And that brings me to point number 2, the easy way out. I've talked about this before. You can go through the archives. There is almost always an easy way out in life, or at least an easier way out. Okay? And I'm not talking about, by the way, the most efficient path possible. Sometimes the hard road is just wasted energy. I understand that. Don't get this part twisted, okay? What I am talking about in life is when faced with an uncomfortable truth, isn't it interesting how life always offers you an open door next to it? Almost invariably, an easier door. Think about it. I want you to take some time here and think about every single decision that you've made in your life where you had to stand up or walk in truth. Tell me there wasn't an easier way. Tell me there wasn't an opt-out. That's why people kill 40-week-old babies. That's how entire state legislatures smile upon the murder of 25, 30, 40-week-old babies. The problem didn't start with 40-week-old babies. It started with Plan B. It started with the early term abortions. It started with absolving oneself of responsibility and turning one's back on the truth. Okay, so look, you screwed up, you were irresponsible, you lacked self-control, and now you've brought a life into this world. The truth is, you have no right to end that life. Let me give you a little bit more leeway, okay? Let's say you were responsible every single step of the way. You used protection, okay? Little tadpole got through for some reason. Here you are. The truth is, that is still a life, an entirely separate genetic code that cannot speak for itself, and you still have no right to decide whether it lives or dies. The truth is that it's hard to bring that baby to term, to deliver it, to take care of it, to figure out what mommy and daddy need to do, how to make a living, how to take care of this life, or it's hard, even finding the right adoption program, bringing that baby to term, and then watching them carry it away to another family who will love and care for it because you couldn't. I get it. That's really hard. The truth is hard sometimes. Or, you could just take a pill. Or you could just put your feet in those stirrups. You could grease the palms of a doctor and be done with it in an afternoon. Now, let me clarify here. Am I saying that women out there who get abortions are taking the easy way out? You're damn right I am. Absolutely. Just like I think fathers who shirk their responsibility are taking a coward's back door. Okay? I'm not absolving anyone here. But the truth is hard. And there's always an easy way out. And that's why I hate bumper sticker slogans and false platitudes. You really do hear me try to avoid these on this show because we use these so often to lie to ourselves, to hide the gritty truth, and to polish a lie. Right? Failure is not an option. My friend Chael has talked about this. That's a lie. It's always an option. It's often the easiest and most readily available option. You just don't want to admit the truth that you might fail. We hear this other one all the time. I think we did it in a parody of Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino. In a fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that fight. It's the guy who's willing to die. He's the one who's going to taste victory. That's a lie. In a fight, it's the person who's best prepared, who's trained with the most discipline, and is the most capable who will win. Do you know what we call untrained men who go into fights or battles willing to die? Dead. That's the truth. But it's a lot easier to accept a bumper sticker slogan that's motivating than it is the truth. Here's the thing. While the truth may not immediately set you free in the short term, that's a cold, hard truth a lot of people don't want to acknowledge. While the truth may burn, sting, or scar, it is ultimately the only path you can walk long term to live your life as freely as humanly possible. And again, before we go here, I want you to think of every difficult decision in your life you've ever made, standing up for the truth. Okay? I really want you to picture it in your mind's eye here, okay? Remember the easy way out? Do you remember the other options available at that time? Got it? Did you look back? Now look ahead. Where do you see the truth? Where do you see the easy way out? Because if you pick the wrong path now, there are only going to be more and more paths splitting, getting easier and easier, leading you away from the path of truth and into the permanent shackles created by the lies of the world. That's how you kill a 40-week-old baby. You're pro-choice? Okay. Are you paying attention? Make the right choice. Hey there, if you like this video, this is the part where I would usually tell you to subscribe, but can't do it anymore. I'm going to tell you to subscribe, and then YouTube is going to decide that we can't reach you even though you subscribe to this channel, and then I'll say hit the notification bell, and then the notification bell won't even be there anymore. I don't know what to say. More than likely, you'll find my face in a milk carton. But do what you can to stop it. It's just... it's...
Tolerance. It's okay to smirk. Please click the big red button to subscribe. It really helps me when you do that. And click the bell to allow notifications so you never miss a new video.
Modern world. Europeans. Built the modern world. We invented science and industry. We invented science and industry, and you want to tell us to stop because, oh my God, we're so bad. We built the modern world. We built the modern world. Europeans. Built the modern world. We invented science and industry. We invented science and industry, and you want to tell us to stop because, oh my God, we're so bad. We invented the modern world.
I feel you. You're so dumb.
We invented the modern world. You fucking degenerate. We saved billions of people from starvation.
Are you joking?
We built modern civilization. White people are the best thing that ever happened to the world. We are so amazing, and I love myself, and I love white people.
Say that one more time.
Fuck yeah, white people.
Say it right here.
Fuck yeah, white men. We're white men. We did everything. Look, I don't hate other people. I just love white people. I just love white men. God. I just love white men. Oh, God. Other people, I just love white men. I just love white men. Oh, God.